Less than 2 years ago, I was having an interaction with someone I know, and I brought up fitness and I brought up building a good physique, building a body, building muscle. And this person hadn't done any of that, has been undisciplined most of his life, pretty much all of his life, and was very undisciplined. And then this guy got a bit annoyed. I was just chatting to some people about it, and it was a good conversation. People were enjoying it, and people genuinely care about it. And I've had some amazing conversations. This person was like, "Oh, no one cares. No one cares." And people were invested in the conversation. And he's like, "No one cares. No one cares." And I was like, "Yeah, people do care. People really do care." And then his emotion kind of switched up after that when I was serious. And he was a bit like, "Oh, just quiet in the corner." And it just made me understand that people low-key do want to see you fail when you're on body game, and they don't want to hear it as well, that you're building a physique, about discipline, all these areas. They don't want to hear it. And the reason they don't want to hear it is because obviously they're not disciplined in that area. So they're not disciplined in their physique, in their body, and they're not truly helping themselves in that area. So when you are getting results and they see you doing amazing, what are they going to do? They're not going to be proud. They're not going to be happy. They're not going to be grateful for that, because you are playing on their insecurities. You are playing on literally their insecurities and not taking care of themselves and not helping themselves. Meaning they're going to view you in a negative light, even though what you're doing is insanely positive. And what you're doing, even if you're speaking about it, can help them. And I found this a lot, that people will start to want to see you fail, because when you are doing well in an area, and this goes into all different areas, whether it's your physique, whether it's your money, people always want to see you fail in them two areas, especially physique wise, I find. And even in relationships, I know people who want other people's relationships to fail because it's not with them, or they dislike that they're getting on so well or doing so well. And you need to understand that people will have this mindset where they don't want you to do well. Some people in your life will want amazing things for you, but other people don't necessarily want the best for you, and they want to see you lose. They want to see you fail. They want to see you stop trying on yourself, on your goals, on where you want to be. And you got to understand that this is a way of life. This is something that happens in life, and people will always say shit no matter what you do. So you could be doing the best thing ever for yourself, and you could be helping people. Let's say, for example, my journey, getting in shape, all this stuff. And I'm helping people get in shape as well through this channel and through other stuff, through coaching people, and in general life as well, giving tips, helping people with this little thing. And that's helping people. But there's going to be people who view it negatively. There's going to be people who view, "Oh, that's terrible, that's not good," or "Why would he say that? Why would he do that?" Or "Why is he able to do that and not me? Why would they listen to him?" There's going to be people like that. And you need to bear in mind, it all comes down to deep insecurity and them not being able to do that. And when I started to understand that when someone says something to me, if I think from the position that they're actually in, instead of thinking from my emotional perspective, so I'll have an emotional reaction to whatever they say. We always do. So when I say something to you, you might have a subtle emotional reaction or a big emotional reaction to something they say. When you change the perspective and think, where are they coming from, and where are they in their life, and how do they feel in their life when they're saying this, you start to understand the real answers. So let's say a fat person's making fun of you for trying to get in shape and trying to build muscle and helping people doing it. What perspective is that coming from? A negative perspective. And why is it coming from that perspective? Because they're not happy in themselves, and they know they are not helping themselves in that area. And they're putting it off to the point it's going to become too late as they get older, because their health is going to get worse and worse and worse. Right now it don't matter as much, but as they get older and as they don't take care of themselves, it's going to get worse and worse and worse, and you're going to be the one who's right. So they don't want to hear that right now, because they don't want to face that reality of what's wrong and what's right, and how they are not helping themselves, and you're a reflection of what they're not doing. It's like polar opposites. You have you who knows what you want to do. Let's just picture for a second, you're fat, you're out of shape, and you didn't like yourself. Then you see a guy who's in shape, who's confident, who's doing well, who you know, and he's doing well. And he's starting to do well, he's doing good, and he's monetizing that now, and he's getting in better shape, and people are respecting him, people are liking him. How are you going to view that person when you're out of shape, fat, and hate yourself? How are you going to view that person? Not good. Not good. And that's the real thing. That's what you got to think. But whereas you are just doing what's right for you, and you understand what's right, and you're trying to help yourself, better yourself, improve yourself, These lot are not going to like that. And you need to understand this in this day and age. A lot of people are not happy with themselves in this day and age. And I've done a lot of reflection on myself, and I guarantee a lot of you lot watching have done a lot of reflection on yourself and looked at yourself and thought, I'm actually grateful and happy for me. But these people just distract themselves. They don't help themselves. They don't spend time away to look at themselves and think, actually, am I happy with myself? Instead, let's say, hypothetically, they got a bit of spare time, they'll drink a load. They'll do loads of drugs. They'll eat loads of shit because it's comforting and it makes you feel all right, and it kind of almost puts a plaster over that pain that you're feeling. But instead of addressing that pain that they're actually feeling, that you actually understand you on a personal level, and with not all these random distractions, drugs that change your mentality, change you and change your state, and actually malfunction your state. You start to understand yourself, and these people don't want to address that. They don't want to look at that, and they may want to drink a lot. Like, for example, in this case scenario, this person drinks a lot. So me listening to their perspective, they're out of shape, they're fat, and they drink a lot. How am I going to be taking their opinion as factual? Plus, we know they're negative and we know they're judgmental. How am I going to take that opinion as something with substance? I'm not. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that as a good example and use that in my favor to help myself. For example, in a video like this, and it might do well, might get me thousands and thousands of views, might get me hundreds, but that leads to me on a better path, getting more attention to the channel, getting more people wanting to tune in, getting more people want me to help them in getting in shape and all this, leading to more results to me. So I've used that to a positive. And this is what you got to do with these negative people. You have people who want to see you fail, but you got to use their negativity and understand where it's coming from. And then when you're able to view it from a different perspective, a third person view, a view that isn't necessarily just base level, you understand that you can actually use what they're saying to help you and to better you. Like, I had it before with a girl. She was very negative towards me. We had an amazing connection, all this, and then things started broke apart, whatever. And then she could see I was doing better. So she tried to tear me down, tried to break me down, tried to be disrespectful, horrible, all this stuff for no reason. But then I understood from the perspective, okay, you obviously don't want me to do well without you in my life. So what should I do? I should understand what you're saying and use that to help me. Understand that you're not a good person, use that to help me. Use that as a learning lesson to help me in the future. Be careful who you start seeing and getting with and all this, and be careful who you give your time to. And also use that in videos to reach more people and help me, help myself. And also use that if I'm ever feeling pain from that or whatever, work out with that, help myself, push myself with that. So therefore, I've turned that whole situation into more of a positive. And this is what you got to do when people are negative about you, especially when it's not coming from a place of truth. If you've done something bad and you've done something like horrible or malicious or whatever, it's a bit different. Obviously, like, sometimes you deserve people to say negative shit. But if you haven't done anything really, and you've just stood up for yourself or done what was actually right, that's actually okay and correct, and you know is right in yourself, and you know you're not trying to fucking hurt anyone or anything, then these people being negative about you shouldn't matter. And even if they're people you liked, loved, had admiration for, you could just say, actually, it is what it is. It is what it is. They're saying this thing. It's coming from a place of negativity. It's coming from a place of sadness. They don't want me to do better than them, especially if they're not in my life or succeeding off the back of me. I understand that, so I'm going to help myself, improve myself. I'm going to use what they said as something to help me push me forward, whether it's in the gym, whether it's working, using it in work, using it in a certain area, helping myself, understanding myself a bit more, asking myself if these people are the right fit, and understanding that you need to not take too much in what people say, and understanding that people will have negative outlooks on something positive, which is crazy. And that's going to be a true message in this video. A lot of people want to see you fail, but at the end of the day, it's up to you if you let them fail. If you let them take you down or let them build you up, you can literally take it for how you want to take it. Initially, there's an emotional reaction that makes you feel a bit like, oh, fuck, why would that person say that? I thought they cared about me, I thought they liked me. But after that, you start to understand, actually, it's coming from this perspective, this perspective, this perspective. And let's think they got a negative outlook on you. or a negative thing to say about you. Imagine if you do well, imagine how they're going to feel then. They're going to feel even worse. That's just based off of you doing better for yourself. You can use what they say to your advantage and use it to improve you. And this was a little psychological thing I had to get my head around. And especially when you're getting in shape, you get a lot of people who are negative about it and upset about it because you're helping yourself, you're improving yourself, your health's getting better, you've got more confidence, you've got more attraction, you've got different things going on. They're not going to view it in a positive light. They're not going to view you in a positive light because they can't do it. Or they can do it, but they don't have the discipline or the accountability to even try towards it or go towards it or be disciplined for a long period of time. So therefore they're going to view you in an absolute negative light, and that's going to be a true message in this video. Hope you lot got a lot of value. If you want to achieve your dream physique, where I can coach you into building a better physique, a more confident body, where you're happy in yourself, where you wake up the next day and you think, actually I look a little bit better. You wake up 6 months down the line and you're achieving a physique that you're proud of, happy of. Whether it's right now we're going into winter time coming up, so let's say you want to bulk, or whether it's losing weight, let's say you're a bit out of shape now and you want to cut down for next year, feel free to shoot me an email at rollaway23@gmail.com and we can work together. I can get you your results. Thank you.